You're walking down Massachusetts Avenue in Boston's South End. It's 7:55 in the morning. The air smells like rain on hot pavement and coffee from the Dunkin Donuts on the corner. A man in a button-down shirt passes you. Same as always, same route, same time. You don't glance twice, just another bureaucrat, right? I've been filling out reports, updating databases. Nothing you'd write a story about. But behind that plain front door in his modest South End apartment, something extraordinary waited. Every wall covered in art, hundreds of prints, drawings, and paintings, floor to ceiling. It was like stepping into a secret gallery. Experts would later call it one of the most significant private collections in New England. Mel had assembled it quietly, carefully, one purchase at a time. You know, we walk past miracles every day, and we call them ordinary, and we never look back. Hi, I'm Steve Rode, and this is True Stories from the Obit Files, where I share real stories from real obituaries about people you might have passed on the street without ever knowing what they carried. Melvin Klayman was 75 when he passed away in June of 2025. He was born during a sweltering summer in 1949, and he grew up in Malden, Massachusetts. He excelled in school, studied German at Northeastern, earned graduate degrees in history and library science. A true Bostonian to the core. Mel lived his adult life in Bay Village in the South End, neighborhoods he chose for their architecture, atmosphere, and soul. For decades, he was just another face on those streets until you looked closer. What I didn't expect when I kept reading? This wasn't just about art or kindness. It was about a man who built systems for beauty, for people, for possibility, and left them running long after he was gone. Back in the late 1960s, Mel spent a summer stacking books at the Boston Public Library's Central Library. A quiet job for a quiet young man, but something about it stuck. The order, the access, the idea behind every title was a life. Years later, Mel returned, not as a shelver, but as a builder. He helped create the Boston Public Library's first digital collections database, transforming shelves into searchable systems. From Dewey Decimals to digits, Mel made sure knowledge stayed within reach. Mel came from a Jewish household where mitzvahs, small acts of loving kindness, weren't optional. They were oxygen. His ancestors had fled hardship in Russia, and Mel never forgot it. But for him, the greatest mitzvahs weren't just giving. It was seeing someone's worth before they knew it themselves. So what did his neighbors actually see? Every morning there was Mel at Mike's Gym, the Boston Sports Club, the YMCA on Huntington. His workouts gave him purpose and community. Picture this man. Remembers your birthday, asks you how your job interview went, finds humor in just about everything. Evenings? You'd find him walking the neighborhood, stopping to chat with shopkeepers, attending gallery openings, studying each piece like it was a puzzle waiting to be solved. And yes, more than once, he was sitting across from someone unhoused at Dunkin Donuts, not just handing them change, but asking their name, telling them to order anything they wanted. The counter might have been sticky with coffee and the air thick with glaze, and Mel was listening. I mean, really listening. Like no one had in weeks. That gift of lifting people up, it started early. One woman, now a successful professional, remembers arriving at Northeastern, homesick and overwhelmed, and meeting Mel. He wasn't a professor, he was just there. Steady, caring. She still says decades later, if Mel hadn't been there that year, I wouldn't have made it. By day, Mel worked for the Commonwealth of Massachusetts, organizing records and building databases for the Division of Capital Asset Management. Think glowing green screens, dot matrix printers, stacks of records, and maybe some stale coffee. He ran on precision. Standard operating procedure, he'd say. But he never forgot the humans in the system. At lunch, he might teach a coworker the difference between a lithograph and an etching, or help them find the perfect outfit for an interview. He built order into data and confidence into people. His coworkers called him a walking encyclopedia. His filing systems were so solid, they're still used today. He did such a good job laying the foundations, one said. Our way of working can keep going on without him. After hours, Mel stepped into a different kind of system. Art. Dimly lit galleries, canvas against brick. The smell of turpentine and ambition. He studied every piece with the same care he gave to a spreadsheet. He didn't just buy art. He built a network. Gallery owners knew his taste. Young artists knew his name. He believed in their work before the world did. Because here's what happens when someone truly sees you. The young artist he supported in 1978, she's now a teacher, passing that belief forward. The freshman he guided in college, she mentors others now, steady, the way he was. And those strangers, those homeless people at Dunkin Donuts, some of them probably went on to extend that same unexpected kindness because that's how mitzvahs work. One act becomes another, and another, and another. When Mel retired, hundreds showed up for his farewell party. Not out of obligation, but out of love. They came to honor the man who supported anyone in need, who made life better just by being in it. One coworker said, he was smart, steady, and kind, with a dry sense of humor that never missed. He taught me art. He taught me fashion. My life is infinitely better for having Mel in it. Before he passed, Mel created the Melvin Klayman Endowed Fund for prints and drawings at the Boston Public Library, the same place he once interned shelving books. Now, his name hangs in the very building where he once stacked titles by hand, funding the next generation of artists he'll never meet. And on his gravestone, he only wanted one line. Here lies Mel Klayman. He was Jewish and a child of the universe. No titles, no accolades, just a man who believed that if you're part of something bigger, your job is to lift others. In a world of clicks and efficiency, Mel chose handmade, the personal and the irreplaceable. He guided friends through printer errors and fashion decisions with the same care. Whether you needed a database fixed or a shoulder to lean on, Mel was your guy. People like that, they're just anchors in a rushing world. They remind us that behind every spreadsheet is a person, behind every ordinary stranger, a remarkable life. You never know what someone's building. Tomorrow you'll pass someone in work clothes, someone filling out a form, someone strict about procedures. What if they're building something beautiful? What if they've been quietly changing lives for decades? So the next time you're in line behind someone who looks ordinary, ask yourself, what quiet infrastructure are they building? What lives are they shaping with a kind word? Would you notice? Would you look again? If stories like this matter to you, make sure you're subscribed. I share a new one every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. But here we are writing a story about Mel because Mel knew something most of us forget. Ordinary doesn't mean unremarkable. He didn't just believe in kindness. He practiced it quietly, systematically, like laying a foundation, the kind that holds up a community for years. And even now, the systems he built for beauty, for justice, for people, they're all still quietly humming along. Not everyone makes the front page, but everyone, and I mean everyone, is building something worth seeing. Real people real lives, never ordinary. Thanks for letting me tell this one. I hope you see someone differently today.